has put together a little geek shindig called geekmoot in Calgary, Alberta, Canada, of course. And so yeah, just tell me a little bit about what got you started to make this and everything.
Actually, it started last year. This is the second one. It started last year when my friend went to the comic expo and brought home her book. I took a look at the book and then went through the book and then went through the entire series and, you know, saw geekmoot. I'm like, that's an amazing idea. And as well as the picnic.
Oh, yes.
The picnic. And
picnic is based off of real life. Geekmoot was something I hoped could happen someday.
Yeah.
But, yeah, my friends and I used to go out for picnics just randomly in the park after games. It started when one of our vampire games that had been running for quite some time ended. And the day afterwards, we all went out and had a big picnic and, you know, talked about our characters. Yeah, so I worked that into the comic. And then Geekmoot was just an idea I had where I was like, wouldn't it be cool if all different kinds of geeks could get together and just party? So like anime kids doing their anime stuff. And, there was like some DDR going on earlier.
Oh, yeah.
There was like anime music in there. It's awesome. And then role-playing geeks were going on. There was like board games everywhere. And
yeah, there was
like
a couple
games.
Magic tournament.
Magic. And then there were some guys playing Halo.
Oh, yeah.
It was just awesome.
All right, so when did you guys get into the geek world, as it may?
I was prescribed video games as a child. It was an actual prescription because I was so bad at hand-eye coordination, and my mom would never get me a Nintendo until they prescribed it. And then I was stuck on them ever since.
Prescription Nintendo.
Exactly.
Awesome.
So now you're an addict?
Yeah, oh yeah. Been an addict ever since I was like 8 years old, maybe 7.
Huh.
How about yourself?
Me, I kind of got into geek world in a weird way because I started on the internet going to forum-based role-playing games in like the old IRC days. And so I had a whole bunch of different characters on all these different muds and mushes. But never really got into like D&D or other games that other geeks were playing at the time. And didn't actually get into those until university. When I wandered into a Gamers Club meeting and I was like, this sounds cool. And then got invited out to a LARP. And I went to a vampire LARP that was just a one-shot set in London during the Blitz. So it was really terrifying because every once in a while he'd play a recording of these like air raid sirens going off and we'd all sort of be like, no! So that was a blast. And then the people I met at that game got me into tabletop gaming and I started playing like D&D and Shadowrun and Rifts and just a whole ton of games. So.
Neat. What would you say is your favorite genre of like geek area activities? It's a weird question, but like Magic, D&D, which do you prefer to pool, let's say, more of your energies into?
That's a tough one, isn't it?
Yeah, for me it's LARP and tabletop gaming about equal. I play in a monthly LARP. I've played in as many as 3 monthly LARPs at one time, which gets a little busy, and then tabletop gaming. So not D&D largely. A lot of indie games. Shadowrun obviously is my favorite. But I've played everything from Dogs in the Vineyard to Inspectors to Rifts and all the Platinum games and stuff like that.
I guess I'm going to have to say cosplay.
As he's in a big suit.
Yeah, no, it's, you know, I love everything. I'm an all-around geek, but never do I love it than when I go to a convention with a hard-worked costume.
Oh, yeah.
And then just the center of attention.
It's a great feeling, isn't it?
I'm an attention whore. So are you.
I don't know what you're talking about.
You're lying.
What else? I'm gonna edit out the pauses. So what you got? I can't speak. Pretty much. Us geeks are wonderful people.
This interview will now be done in Simlish.
Don't worry, it'll be auto-tuned.
Fun times. I'm trying to think of something else to say. Ask. should have thought this more thoroughly. It's just like, I need an interview with you guys.
Ask how awesome geekmoot is.
How awesome would you say geekmoot is in the general aspect of awesomeness?
Super awesome.
Incredible. I couldn't believe it. Like, the second year, it's already gone so big. From 1 month preparation last month to getting to about 50 people, to this year where we probably got about 200 people.
And it's still going.
And it's still going, yeah.
Yeah, we kind of just took a pause, stepped outside so we could get some words in while the music's blasting, because it's a geek party in there. How did you get everything started? Like, how difficult was getting all the sponsorship for all the different things that you were selling and getting everything ready and whatnot?
Well, last year we had no sponsors, nothing. We just out of pocket paid for everything. Just, rented a park, rented this, and, brought a bunch of food. Although it was really funny last year because I'd have to say that at least half the people brought their own food because they didn't believe that we were giving free food. And they're like, there's some catch.
It's got to be a catch.
Yeah. I ate hot dogs for like a month after that. Once you start making hot dog broth, you're done.
Hot dogs are about just about it for you.
I really didn't have hot dogs until about now.
So about a good year later. Yeah. Seems like your thing. How did you get started in the whole... I'm gonna rephrase that. How'd you get started in the whole, comic thing and getting everything made up for that? And where'd you get the idea?
Okay.
And whatnot?
I got started because I've always loved drawing, ever since I was a kid, and really wanted to do a comic. But when I was younger, I thought I wanted to do a Marvel DC comic where someone wrote it and then I drew it. But as I got older, I kind of realized that there were other comics that were starting to sort of pop up on the web here and there, and I was like, you know what? That's kind of a cool idea. And I got into it first as sort of I'll put up a comic on the web to hone my skills and then do an application for Marvel, DC, whatever. And then as time went on, I was like, nope, I like publishing on my own. It's so much better. No one tells me what to do. So
no one at all?
Yeah, no one at all.
Wow.
Well, Lane is my editor, and he'll sort of go, maybe it would be funnier if you did this with a joke, or, actually the rule in third ed doesn't work that way. You should actually say this instead.
Is he a little bit of a rule Nazi?
It's a good trait in an editor.
Make sure everything gets done, right?
Yeah, exactly, and I don't get angry emails from people going, actually, I think you'll find.
I love the fan base.
Yeah. And then the idea of WereGeek came when a friend of mine and I were both working at the same job, and we were in office attire during the day and super dressed up nice. And then at night we would both go our separate ways, and then I'd pick her up on the way to our D&D game, and we would be dressed completely differently. So we would joke that we were only geeks by night. That during the day we were hidden and you couldn't tell.
So that's where the WereGeek.
Where geek by night comes from.
All right. What advice would you give for anyone out there trying to get their own works big?
Just do it and stick with it. Even if you've only got 10 readers, the very fact that you're drawing every day is improving your skills. So, I could not believe how much better my drawings got just over the first year. And every day you draw, you just get better and better. So, yeah.
Amazing how fast you update.
Just do it.
So just keep it going.
Just keep it going.
Don't care if one person's watching you, just keep going and see where it goes.
Yep. And sometimes you get to the point where I wish people read it. But the longer it goes, the more people will find you. And it really doesn't matter what you choose to write about, because someone out there on the internet will find it interesting.
There's someone who likes everything on the internet.
Exactly.
You got those people staying up until 2 in the morning just randomly watching stuff or seeing, reading, whatnot.
People tend to not allow me to have the remote anymore when we're doing YouTube nights.
So that sounds interesting. Trying to think what else I might be able to ask. I'm horrible with on-the-spot questions. I was going to think of stuff, and I got distracted by the party and everything.
There's so much distraction.
Party in the car, and they're gaming. And
I was going to get so much more audio or video done up for this, and it was just distracted, ridiculous.
things going on.
Pretty much. So overall, would you say that this year's Geek Moot has been a pretty successful night?
There's only one thing that didn't show up that was high in the sky, which would have been to have Will Wheaton do a tabletop here.
Oh.
That would be so awesome.
I know, right?
That would have been pretty bloody amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would have put it over the top.
And would have brought in a lot more people.
She already put it over the top.
Well,
Showed up unannounced. I didn't think I'd be able to make this one because it's right in between San Diego and Gen Con, which are my two biggest shows of the year. And I was like, oh, I don't know. And it's... And
You
then
need to accept my friend request.
I do. You can send me the invite for next year and I can
God,
coordinate.
I tried to get a hold of you every way.
It was the lead up to San Diego. And I was just like, ah.
Yeah. Whereas I was just like, if she does show, does she want anything? I don't know what she's doing.
nice. You guys got anything to just generally say?
Come to Geek Moot next year.
Geek Moot, awesome.
So it's coming again next year?
It's an annual, every last Saturday of July.
Every last Saturday of July. So come to Calgary, Alberta Geek Moot. It's a page on Facebook, a group on Facebook.
We got Twitter. We even actually geekmoot.ca, and we're going to be revamping the website so Apple can actually use it.
Ah, nice.
So yeah, come on down next year.
Moth keeps flying into the
Every second last Saturday?
The last Saturday of July.
Last Saturday of July, come down to Geek Moots and come talk to Cory here. This has been Rook Dragon Slayer with Critical Fail Gaming, and I hope you enjoyed this little thing.
Bye.